It's time to get swinging, baby! Let's take a listen to everything together before. And after applying swing. Usually your drums will look and sound something like this, right? These drums are completely fine, but they are sounding a little bit robotic because of the fact that they are sitting perfectly on the grid. With the beautiful technique called swing, we can swing that thing and create more of an organic and natural kind of feeling. Imagine a band scenario where a drum player is playing. Every player has its own understanding of time and when to move to action. The whole track is in a specific tempo, that's for sure, but each and every player has its own inner rhythm. Most of the times in parts like verses, they are shifting away from each other a little bit. This is called drift. They are drifting a little bit away from each other, meaning they are not perfectly on the grid all the time. There is no grid in free playing. And because we are humans, we always make mistakes all the time. So with this technique called swing, we can offset our drums and our elements a little bit from the grid. And by offsetting our drums, we are creating more of a naturalistic groove. Depending on your genre, this might be one of the best techniques that you might use, and we are utilizing it right now. So what I like to do is I like to render and replace, sort of consolidate all of my patterns by clicking on this button right here. Then render and replace. But keep in mind, this is a finalizing step. So if you have some effects applied to these heads, for example, like this is a slightly reverbed head, the effects are applied as well. So as you hear, it has a little bit of a tail, a little bit of a reverberation at the end, and it is not assigned to a mixer channel, as you can see. It is just coming out of the master channel. So do it for everything, and I'm back in a second. Quick reminder, consolidating your track and patterns is a really important and necessary step to prepare for mixing, as it saves a lot of processing power for your PC. With drums, they are not that dominant on the processor, but VSTs and plugins like Omnisphere or synthesizers or something like this might be a little bit heavy on your PC if you add more and more and more. So consolidating is in general a really good idea once you have your ideas finalized. Alright, let's take a listen. Everything sounds fine. Now we can get to the juicy part of the video by actually adjusting our drums and creating a little bit of a variation by offsetting specific sounds a little bit from our grid, introducing swing. First thing I like to do is I like to cut a kick right here so we can work with this half and leave the first kick alone, because I want the first kick to hit on the actual perfect grid, as our drum pattern is introduced in the verse the first time, and the kick should be present right when we are getting introduced into this new pattern, as the kick might play an important role right there. What I like to do is I like to take all of these kicks and move them just slightly. Just one small little step to the right. This already creates a little bit of swing. It is not really heavily noticeable right here. We can take a listen. Before. And after. But you already start to hear that there's something a little bit off. Cut this tail right here. Another really cool thing that we can do is we can move the hi-hat just like we did with the drums. We take these verb head, move them a tiny bit to the right as well. This is fine. What else can we do? We can play with the rim, for example. We have a layered rim down here. We can slightly adjust this rim right here. And now so what I like to do, I like to just go in and create some variations with the head. Maybe put this kick a little bit earlier right here, and maybe with the low head over here. Over here. This is just an example, but you can go much more crazy. You can create all sorts of variations, mix up the whole drum pattern and create amazing rhythmic variations. It's all up to you and your personal taste and style. Maybe I add a little bit of a volume variation in here. We can just slice it up sometimes like this, and then we can just adjust the volume a little bit. There are no real rules right here. You just need to shift your sounds to the left or to the right, take a listen and figure out what works for you, your taste and your style. This is a little bit earlier, but this can still be a little bit offset, maybe a little more. So here we have a before. And an after. And as you can see right here, I moved the last two kicks even further to the right. This is what I refer to as drift, because as musicians play together, they might slide a little bit off grid, and that's naturally occurring through the verse, through the bridge or something. And as we get to a new part, all of the musicians have to concentrate again a little bit more, and then they get together even closer again. This is all due to concentration, and each and every musician is sort of falling into their own flow, and this phenomenon right here might occur naturally. So yeah, I think this is some great information here. I stumbled upon this technique fairly late into producing, and I think I've given you all the important, and I think I gave you all the important tools so that you can utilize them to your own power and create some more organic and realistic kind of sounding drums by your own. For music like lo-fi, for example, this technique is quite awesome. In something like house music, you might just use a little swing effect on the heads or on the shakers or something, but in a little bit more subtle way. Here on lo-fi, you can just go all in and do whatever you like, because lo-fi is kind of known for this imperfection. A lot of tracks have noise crackling in the background, so it's just fine. Just find perfect balance for you. You might go all in with adjusting your drums to the fullest to make them feel super organic, but for different genres and different styles, there are different approaches. Tons of music has just been created with drums laying perfectly on the grid, and there's no one technique that rules them all. You can try out and use something that works for you. This is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and if you did, please interact with the channel a bit. I want to grow this baby a little bit further so we can reach a lot more people and teach a lot more people. Yeah, I just really enjoy seeing all of you guys commenting on the videos. We already reached 350 subscribers. That's really awesome. I really enjoy to see this channel growing. Stuff is going to change in the future quite dramatically. I finally finished the website. We had some struggles with the website, but my beginner to expert FL Studio course will be up there on the website. I will be creating a lot of blog posts, so if you're interested in music and if you're willing to invest some time to get really, really professional and really good, whether it's just a hobby or your new profession, I think this place would be an awesome place in the future, because I want to upload a lot of different stuff right there. Mind to interact with the channel a bit, because I really enjoy to see what you guys have to say and want to create a beautiful project right here on YouTube. Peace out and have a good one. I'm probably going to sleep right now.